What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I have some kind of in-between news to go ahead and share with you guys. Some might think it's really bad, but for me personally, I think that this is phenomenal, to be honest. I still think it's phenomenal, as bad as that might sound. I think it's a good thing for the future of Xdefiant, and it just proves that this game is going to be something more than what people are putting it out to be. A lot of people claim that Xdefiant's going to die, pretty much instantly, but I have faith that this game is going to last, months and months and months, years and years and years. I think it's going to be a long-lasting title that they will try to obviously get cash out of. They might try to milk it with microtransactions or something of that sort, but to think that they're going to cut support so soon because it's just going to simply flop right out the gates, I don't think that's realistic. And with this new information, I think that further confirms the future for Xdefiant. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I'll be live today over on Twitch. So if you guys are interested, I have a link to that channel down in the description of this video, and that goes live between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, Xdefiant got a little bit of some extra support, but at the same time, at the cost of another game getting, I guess, demolished. As you can see right here from Xdefiant alerts, Red Storm Entertainment will start working on Xdefiant, according to Ubisoft earnings call. Well, Ubisoft. Again, I know it's always a war about what to call this company. I just like calling it Ubisoft. I'll probably just keep calling it that. Ubisoft has decided to stop development on the Division Heartland and has redeployed resources to bigger opportunities such as Xdefiant and Rainbow Six. Now, like I said, this is kind of sad because they were working on their own personal game, and this game has been in development, I believe, since 2021. So for about 3 years, they've been working on this game, trying to, build it up, make it actually good, probably flooding it with their ideas and their creativity. And then, of course, last second, they say, yep, we don't want this game anymore. We're going to simply chop it. That is the hardest part about game development for a lot of these bigger teams because of the fact that they have to do whatever the publisher says. It's not like it's an indie game where they can go about their business and make whatever game that they want to make and, have their own schedule, release it when they want to release it, fix it when they want to fix it, do what they want. It's not like that. If Ubisoft comes in and says, yeah, we don't want this anymore, they can literally cut it. They can take years and years and years and years worth of work. It doesn't matter how much you do. It doesn't matter how close you are to launching this game. They can look at it and say, we don't want this anymore, and cut it. And the sad part about this is that can happen to any other game too. It can happen to Xdefiant. If one day down the road they say this game is pointless, they can cut it. Now, luckily for us, we actually have a release date so the game can at least launch. So they would have to take some extra steps by, taking down the servers and dealing with community backlash for, removing skins that they might have purchased and removing stats and, stuff that they've worked really hard for. It's going to be a bit harder to do this, but the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not impossible. I've seen Ubisoft do worse things, especially when it comes to the crew as well. Didn't the crew just get slapped out? I mean, it's not like it's impossible for them to do. So, yeah, this sucks. It definitely sucks to work under a publisher like this, but at the end of the day, that's how you get your budget. That's how you get that cash. That's how you can develop these massive titles. So when you work for these teams, you just have to kind of expect certain things like this to happen. If the top dog doesn't want it anymore, if they don't think it's going to give them any cash, that's just how business works. You're in that field. That's the hardest part about the art field. And yeah, I personally consider, game development and art. You have no security, realistically. People can drop you whenever they want. They can replace you whenever they want. They can cut your project whenever they want. They can do anything, and you just got to kind of roll with the punches, roll with the flow, roll with the wind, and just kind of, find something different. And luckily for these developers here, they were able to find something different. They were able to find somewhere where they can land, and they were able to, hop into, obviously, Rainbow Six and Xdefiant. Now, again, I'll be honest, I am kind of sad we're not going to see the Division Heartland. I kind of thought, the concept of that would be pretty cool. A lot of these games are getting cut, like the Division Heartland and The Last of Us 2 multiplayer, which I thought the concept of that was going to be really cool, but that got cut. A lot of really cool ideas have been just getting constantly scrapped nowadays. So yeah, again, like I said, I am kind of sad to see it go, but for, more support for Xdefiant, I'm not salty whatsoever at the end of the day. And again, none of these people, maybe some of them might not have been able to land on their feet on some of these jobs, but I would say the mass majority of them were at least able to find more work after getting, cut from their original game. But you might be wondering, well, JB, what does that have to do with, the main topic of today's video? Well, again, there's a lot of people out there who really do not think Xdefiant will last whatsoever. And I get it. I totally get it. Content creators, YouTubers, streamers, we're all going to make our titles flashy. We're all going to, put down stuff that's going to be like, oh, Xdefiant's about to mop the floor with Call of Duty and all this stuff. Obviously, it's content creation. I don't know what anybody expects out here. You know what I'm saying? That's just the YouTube game. But I think a lot of people realistically know it's not going to remove Call of Duty from the marketplace. It's not going to affect their final. If it does affect their numbers, that's going to be insane. I mean, you best believe content creators all around are going to be talking about that stuff and discussing that type of stuff. But I think the mass majority of us out there understand that that is not going to happen. Okay, Xdefiant's going to have its own player base, and Call of Duty is going to have its own player base. And a lot of people who, want to play both can do that as well. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be enjoying both experiences. More FPS games, arcade-style games, the better for me. But I see a lot of people in the comments that just constantly claim that this game is going to literally amount to nothing, and they are going to strip this title the second it goes live. And this right here, to me personally, is proof that that is not the case. They will not be putting these developers on Xdefiant whatsoever if they didn't have any plans for this game to last a year or two, even longer down the road. They wouldn't be doing anything. They would probably be trying to shrink the team as time gets closer to the launch, because they just want to make it a quick cash grab, sell a bunch of microtransactions and then bail as fast as possible. But the fact that Ubisoft is almost doubling down on the amount of people that they want working on this title proves a little bit to me that they care. They do. They indeed care about Xdefiant. They want it to live, a decent amount of time. And the same goes for the content that they already pre-made. You guys know that the year one content is pretty much already done, right? Year one is completely filled. They already said this behind the scenes in the Xdefiant debrief, and they're currently working on the year two content. Again, people really do expect this game to just drop, to fail, to die upon launch, to amount to absolutely nothing. But I don't think people really understand the true potential that this title has. It's a really fun arcade-style shooter. They have openly removed one of the things that a lot of people in the FPS space have been hating, thick skill-based matchmaking and EOMM, and they're openly talking about it, openly saying that they don't want that in their game. And the game is revolved around everything in the Ubisoft universe. Every title you could possibly think of can be implemented into Xdefiant. And it's not grounded, so they could do whatever. They can add whatever weapon, whatever faction, whatever they want into this game could be implemented to add some spice and variety into the mix. The content pipeline is quite literally endless. Endless, I say. There's no stop to what they can put in this game. They could probably plan 3-4 years worth of content off of just basically all the titles that they can mess around with, which once again is just absolutely phenomenal. But more proof to me personally that this game does have what it takes to be something special, unique, because now Ubisoft has a tax shooter like Rainbow Six Siege under their belt, and at the same time they're trying to, attack the arcade marketplace. Whereas Activision, what do they try to do when it comes to, spreading their wings and, having different variety within games? They make it Call of Duty. They try to change COD, something that we all know and love for being an arcade shooter, and they try to branch it out to fit other type of play styles, like Rainbow Six Siege, for example. They try to make COD a bit more tactical to fit those vibes. Again, they really do ruin the overall experience with that, whereas Ubisoft has been doing a really good job at kind of, keeping their titles distanced, right? Even though Xdefiant still has a lot of different games combined into it, at the end of the day, it has its own identity. It knows what it wants to be, and it's not going to stray away from that, because they don't need to. They already have other games doing other things. They don't need Xdefiant to copy that formula. It's just not needed at the end of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, if you could do me a massive favor, go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys personally think about all of this stuff going on with the Xdefiant. Do you think that it's a bad thing that this team got removed from the game that they were currently working on, the Division Heartlands? Did you want to see that game come out, and did you even care about it? Or are you more excited that this team is being moved over to games like Rainbow Six Siege and obviously Xdefiant? Personally, like I said, I'm a bit bummed out, but I'm happy the Xdefiant team gets more people to actually work on the game. It's already in a good spot. They already have tons of content planned out, and now they have a larger workforce to even, plan out further content. I mean, let's be real here. This, I think, is phenomenal news. But as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And like I said earlier, if you guys want to check out my live stream, I'm going to be live today over on Twitch. You guys can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.